goodness. What is going on here? Oh, whoop. What the frick? All right. Whatever. All right. What's up? Ready for this one? It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a doozy. All right. So... It depends. I can't sit right. All right. All right. I'm just getting started, darlings. Darlings. Someone asked if I was the editor for a Sean Ryan show. I could be, but no. I'm not good enough. I'm not an elite, so I don't get to be. I don't get to even go on the show. You gotta sell your soul to be on TV, I guess. That ain't happening. Wild times out here. It's like the Wild West. So we got a global problem, like a big global problem here. Big. So oh my God. Everything's going off. So this is a prophetic call to justice. I'm gonna just read off here what I have because I'm full of fire. Yeah, I'm full of fire. So this is to okay, so in this unapologetic spiritual declaration, I speak on behalf of the stolen, the silenced, the stolen, the silenced, the seekers, calling out every church, institution, and system that profited off pain, fear, and false promises. This is for every abused child, every overworked mother, every artist erased, every prophet mocked, and every truth buried under tax-exempt lies. Megachurches, secret societies, colonizers, corporations, the Vatican, Hillsong, Elevation, Joel Osteen, Scientology, NXIVM, MK Ultra. No more hiding behind stained glass and smiles. Scriptures back this, history confirms it, and God is not amused, and the tables are turning. If you've ever been gaslit, gatekept, or guilted into silence, this message is for you. This is the roar of the lion. This is the divine disruption. Return what you stole with interest, or be swallowed by the storm you ignored. Is all. It's not all. A global declaration of divine truth, spiritual justice, and holy reclamation. Let me say this as clearly as I can, okay? Every church that took money and lied in God's name, you owe us a refund. You owe us a refund. Every megachurch, every cathedral built on fear and while kids disappeared at summer camp, you owe the people their soul back. I'm not here for decorum. I'm here for divine disruption because I'm watching a whole world tiptoe around borders God never built, obeying laws nobody voted on, donating to systems that enslave us, and calling it salvation. Meanwhile, The ones at the top are feasting on gold while preaching about grace. And I can't stop thinking about it, how all the churches are linked together. The mega churches, the camps, the schools, they owe us, literally, not metaphorically. Full refunds, reparations, and repentance. Because what did you actually buy with that offering? A false promise, a broken child, a seat in shame? No, that ends here. It ends here. I'm done watching this world obey a system built on make-believe, maps and made-up money, borders made by men, churches run like corporations, souls sold for salaries. You think God asked for your degree in theology? You think love needs paperwork to show up? You mean to tell me we're still paying taxes on stolen land? Okay? Still swiping cards for food that grew for free? Still defending churches that protected abusers, and nobody's flipped the table yet? Babe, I came to flip it. And I'm right on time. Let's talk plainly. Those industrial-sized megachurches, the ones that turned God into a brand and worship into performance, they owe reparations, not just spiritually, legally. Because how do you justify building multi-million-dollar sanctuaries while the hungry sleep on church steps? You called it oh man, I can't. Like, this gets me so jazzed. God never asked for that. He never asked for any of that. You can worship outside on a lawn chair. It's that simple. It is that simple. You taught salvation through the offering plate while your own pastor slept in mansions built on fear. You're institutionalized God. You gatekept heaven. You handed out shame disguised as scripture. And you told us to obey the law. But whose law? Whose law? The law of colonial powers, of monarchies, of and whitewash seminars. Like, I can't with that, because it wasn't Yahweh's. It wasn't Christ. You legalized oppression. You spiritualized capitalism, and now the veil is tearing. If you have used God's name to gain wealth, status, or influence while harming the vulnerable, you owe. You owe the people you touched. You owe the children you covered up. You owe the survivors you gaslit. And the reckoning is not coming. It's here. This isn't about tax exemption or shady seminar or whatever. This isn't about church camps where children were trafficked and brainwashed. Or this is a friggin' about church camps. Like, this is like church camps where children are trafficked and brainwashed. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. The rituals and ceremonies, the unspoken agreements between pulpits and politicians, every church that protected a predator that still protects predators owes. Every institution that enabled a cover-up owes. Every person who stayed silent, who's still staying silent despite everything that's coming forward while collecting a check, owes. You think this is dramatic? No. This is me being calm. This is the resurrection of truth. Okay. Let's widen the lens. Okay. Borders, banks, buildings, lies. Everything we call law was designed to maintain a pyramid built on slavery and silence. It's disgusting. These borders, they were made to divide tribes. These banks built from stolen gold and stolen people. Stolen gold and stolen people. This whole system, a counterfeit kingdom. I don't need your papers to cross your artificial lines. Get out of here with that. I don't need your degrees to speak divine truth, and I will not ask permission from a world that never asked for mine. MK Ultra? Still harassing me. Still blocking me from everything that I can do just to eat. You know, I'm sleeping on a crib mattress on a floor in a basement. I had a can of tomato soup today and a stale hot dog bun toasted. This isn't for pity. This is real life. This is what your systems have done while you sit cushy in your glass houses. No. Protecting pedophiles. Protecting mass organized crime. That's disgusting, and that's over. It is over. Let's talk about money. Every dollar was printed in blood. Every skyscraper stands on stolen earth. Nothing built today came from man alone. It came from God's gifts. And the illusion of ownership is crumbling. Oh, it is crumbling. You don't own the food. You don't own the food. You don't own the water. You don't own the land. You only control the narrative. And that's ending. To the occult, the Freemasons, the secret societies, the puppet masters behind pop culture, you will not siphon light any longer. You will not hide behind symbols, handshakes, and designer suits. The Illuminati was never enlightenment. It was about containment. MK Ultra was never about science. It was about silence. Hollywood was never about art. It was about the altar. You encoded hexes into music. You encoded hexes into music that my children are listening to. Hell, your children are listening to. You are directly poisoning your own damn children. I know that a lot of these celebrities and people watching and playing a role in this are eating Sonic Burger, whatever garbage trash that has all of this in it. I know that. Even everything that's in your fancy restaurants that cost more than most people's mortgages, most people's rent, still poison. Because none of it's made of love. It's all mass produce. It's disgusting. You harvested souls. Souls. You tried to erase divine memory. Tried. And you made it hell while you were trying. I was robbed and so many others, a disgusting amount of others. Well, most of these celebrities that are, profiting off of this and gaining in so many ways, they don't even have the decency to move their finger this way to like a message that they've shared of theirs, which is continuing to build their empires up. That's disgusting. You should be so ashamed of yourself. But you're probably not, because none of you guys, the ones that I'm speaking to, you don't even know what love is. Because love, even with law, doesn't allow people to, real love doesn't allow people to sleep outside because of a policy where people can't sleep between the doors to stay warm, to stay safe. And truly, this world would not be unsafe if everybody were equal. Because not one single individual, because you pass the bar, I don't care, nobody cares. That doesn't make any one person more entitled to have shelter and food. Period. It is that simple. Okay? It is that simple. It is simply a choice. I remembered. Now the whole world will too, because I'm not stopping. And I got an army behind me of people that aren't going to either. The ones that I'm speaking for right now. I'm not getting paid to solve these crimes that I know have stopped or helped like people that actually have some kind of heart and use their authority within within the law, that are actually trying to find children, even though it's within their own circle, their own organizations that are directly helping the people become missing. Do you know that? You gotta know that by now. And if you don't, you should absolutely be working toward finding that out, finding the weak links within your organizations, your groups, your precincts, all of it. Because there's several within every single one, in every single town, in every single city. Putting a tip out, this person doesn't have a place to stay. She got declined from the shelter. Declined from a shelter. Make that make sense. Because you're not from that city. You don't qualify. That is gross. Gross. It's for every mother who never found her child. For every survivor told it was just a dream. For every artist murdered at 27. For every artist murdered at 27. Every prophet labeled crazy because the truth crumbles their ability to be perched on their verandas, sipping their bourbon. Filth. And even for those that like, oh, I didn't know all that. You didn't, but you know that you drive past countless people that are homeless. You have it. Share it. That's humane. For every child who saw what the adults refused to believe. For every whistleblower silenced by a paycheck or a casket. You're not getting me in one, and I will not sell out. For every soul trapped in systems that profit off of pain. This is not paranoia in any stretch. This is memory. This isn't conspiracy. It's a fucking fact. This is disclosure. Now, to the astrologers, the Mercury lie, stop preaching fear into retrograde. Like, that language has got to go. God made the planets. They don't rule me. They don't rule you. They serve divine order, not fear mongering. You say, don't travel, don't start, don't love during this time. Okay. But what you're really doing is casting spells of hesitation, planting weeds in gardens you weren't called to tend. I've traveled during retrograde, met soulmates under eclipses. You know what happened? I stayed free because fear is a spell. And I broke it. And many others have too. Speak with power, with clarity, integrity. Not bullshit. Pipe dreams. Proverbs 18:21. The tongue has the power of life and death. Speak like someone's freedom depends on it, because it does. Let's be absolutely clear. Every church that took an offering or donation while covering up abuse, trafficking, fraud, or spiritual manipulation, you owe a refund. Not only are you spiritually bankrupt, you are all financially bankrupt. Fact. Yes, Hillsong. Yes, Elevation Church. Yes, Joel Osteen's Lakewood. Yes, Kenneth Copeland. Yes, Creflo Dollar. And let's just talk about the demonic purge back in May on stage. Yes, the Vatican, especially the Vatican. Matthew 21:13. My house shall be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers. You built empires on the backs of children and seekers, sold salvation like a product, wrapped God in merchandise, and denied love for profit. Now let's talk law. You studied the bar, great. Yeah. But unjust laws are still curses. Isaiah 10:1-2. Woe to those who make unjust laws, to deprive the poor of their rights. Law that cages immigrants, hoards land, evicts families, or justifies violence isn't holy, it's hellish. It is hellish. You built systems on illusion, claiming to own what belongs to God. Psalm 24:1. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it. So Nestle doesn't own water. ExxonMobil doesn't own the land. BlackRock doesn't own the air. And Canada doesn't own my spirit. Thank you very much. Let's get real. Every child harmed in a church camp, every altar boy, and we got a laundry list of those. Seeker, truth teller, and empath. Their pain is a scroll in heaven. You bet your booty, we got receipts. The Southern Baptist Convention, the Jehovah's Witness, the Catholic, the Catholic schools, the Catholic everything, actually, the Boy Scouts, the Church of Scientology, the FLDS, NXIVM's healing retreats, the fake nonprofit therapy cults. Okay. The Freemasons. Let me just say that one again. The Freemasons that we've got one in every kind of, we got a lawyer Freemason, we got a few cop Freemasons, we got a few Walmart worker Freemasons. Get with it, guys. This show's over. It's over. It is over. You are directly ruining. You are causing karmic debt for your own kin. It doesn't matter what you want, what spell you cast, what basement dweller practitioner you reach out to, you cannot undo that. You disrupt the entire Google map of life. God-powered source. The CIA operatives disguised as pastors? Yeah. Luke 8:17. There is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed. Nothing hidden that will not be disclosed. You didn't just traumatize children. You tried to erase entire blueprints of light. But the DNA of divinity cannot be corrupted. Hi. Let's talk borders. If I want to cross the border, I will. We all will. Simple. God didn't draw those lines. Man did. Acts 17:26. God made from one blood all nations of men. The rest was colonial fiction. So no, I don't care about your cages. No, I don't honor the flags of oppression. And no, I will not pay rent for land God already gave us, all of us. If I take food to survive, that's not theft. That's sacred reclamation. You should thank me for reminding you who it belonged to in the first place. I see the people. I see the fear. They're tired but afraid to rise, afraid to quit their job, afraid to say no to Walmart, afraid to walk out hand in hand and say, we're done. And to the managers holding the clipboard of empire, you don't own the building, sister. You don't know the stockholders, and you're not free either. Stop doing their bidding. Stop doing their bidding. Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the platform of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is that transformation. This is the renewal. This is the remembering. This is divine law over man's law, justice over judgment, restoration over rules. This is me saying, return what you stole with interest, by love or by consequence. It's happening either way. Because the lamb is roaring now, and the lion is a woman, and she remembers everything. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day. Tisk, tisk.